Right of Goff. Brock Wright, the tight end in motion. The Vikings blitz. Cashman was held. Here's a pass and a touchdown for the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have taken a 16-9 lead. And the touchdown goes to Jahmyr Gibbs, who just continues to assassinate everything that is Minnesota Vikings football.
The Detroit Lions destroyed the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football to end off the regular season and to secure the 1 seed for the first time ever. And of course, for a franchise like Detroit, it only took 15 wins to do so. The regular season game between these two teams last night had the most combined wins out of any NFL game ever, and now the Vikings are the first 14-win wildcard team. Insane. The Vikings deferred, giving Detroit's offense the ball first, and after a short JMO screen on second down, Gibbs made himself seen with a huge third down move to get the first, but sadly a big stop by Jonathan Grenard, blowing up Gibbs on third down, forcing the Lions to punt. What a season he's had. He's a beast. 12 sacks on the season with 18 tackles for loss. Kicking off the Vikings' first offensive drive, Aaron Jones has a nice run, but would sadly leave the game with an injury and only put up 10 rushing attempts for 45 yards on the day. Aaron Jones continued to drive, converting on the first third down of the day. On 3rd and 2, the Vikings would continue to run the ball on the very next play, but a false start would push them back. It didn't look like the $2 million spent by the Vikings organization to get fans there worked very much. And 2 Darnold incompletions led the Vikings to punt on their first drive as well. And that was the story of the day, as Sam Darnold was 18 of 41 pass attempts, a 43% completion rate, the lowest of the day. On Goff's second possession, he moved the Lions down the field with Tim Patrick, Laporta, and of course a 23-yard reception from St. Brown. And on 4th and 5, Brian Flores brought the house, but Goff found JMO, and Gibbs put up a 25-yard touchdown in the very next play. Darnold's second possession of the game started off with a 17-yard sack by Zadarius Smith. 2 plays later, Darnold overthrew a wide-open Hawkinson to force a second straight punt to start the game. But Van Dinkel and Grenard were there to put the Vikings on their back, leveling Gibbs and sacking Goff to get the ball back to their offense. The Vikings started out with good field position, and then Sam Darnold would find Josh Oliver for a 13-yard pickup and a first down. Addison would then have his only catch of the night for 0 yards. Through 2 regular seasons, Addison has only had 3 games in his career where he's had 1 or 0 catches, and 2 of them have been against Detroit. Jefferson would pick up 31 to get the Vikings first and goal from the 6-yard line. Jones would be stuffed on 1st and goal. 2nd and goal, Darnold would be forced to throw it out of the back of the end zone. On 3rd and goal, Hawkinson was not open. And on 4th and goal, the Vikings would go for it, and nobody would be open once again. The Lions defense had their best outing of the season. Unbelievable game. Goff would avoid a safety, and Laporta would pick up a first down. Craig Reynolds started to get going. He had 39 yards rushing on the day, but on 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line, Goff would be pressured, and on the screen pass, it'd be deflected, and Ivan Pace had his 2nd interception of his career. A lot of people will hate on Goff, and this play looks bad and will feel that fire, but one thing I love about Goff is that he will throw a pick and he doesn't let it phase him throughout the rest of the game, like the Texans game where he threw 5 interceptions and still came up big in clutch moments. However, I would put this one more on Reynolds. You can see Goff going back. Reynolds is running towards Goff. There is no reason to run towards him there. Reynolds needs to get out into the open space and run away from Goff. I don't know if he was worried that he needs to run back there and help Goff get a last-minute block, and Goff was forced to throw a very short pass that wasn't possible to get over the linemen. The Vikings picked up right where they left off. Robertson denied Jefferson a touchdown on 1st and goal. 2nd and goal, Darnold overthrew Jefferson in the back of the end zone, couldn't come down with it, then overthrew Jefferson again on 3rd and goal. Missed him high with rushers in his face, forcing the Vikings to just get on the board with a field goal. It would be 7 straight offensive plays for the Vikings offense inside the 8-yard line for a total of 2 yards gain on 7 plays. Sadly for the Lions, the Vikings would get the ball once again after a 4th and inches pass deflection after a gutsy Ben Johnson call. Can't hate on Dan Campbell for going for it there. Just a great job by Jonathan Bullard for getting his hand up. With Sam Darnold fighting for his life in the backfield, he would get the Vikings back inside the red zone for the 3rd time in the 2nd quarter, but on 3rd and 6, he'd get hit down, and the Vikings would be forced to take 3 points once again. A huge mistake by Will Reichard kicking the ball out of bounds in the kickoff. 19 yards picked up by St. Brown, 11 by Caliph Raymond, and the field goal would make it 10-6 Lions at half. Just shows you how good of a football team Detroit is right now. They're able to take advantage of any single mistake you make. It was almost a 3-and-out for the Vikings on their first possession of the second half, with Amik Robertson breaking up another pass to Jefferson, but a Brian Branch illegal contact penalty would give the Vikings a first down and a 58-yard Cam Akers run 2 plays later. 0 yards for him on 1st and goal, 3 for Aaron Jones on 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal, nowhere to go with it. On 4th and goal, Terrion Arnold would break up the pass with Addison. However, Goff would long punt it to Harrison Smith on 1st and 10 for his 3rd interception of the season. Minnesota would get the ball across midfield, but Darnold, under pressure, would take a huge intentional grounding penalty, and on 3rd and 6, Jefferson would plain out drop the ball. Reichard would make his 3rd field goal today, making it a 9-10 game with just under 10 minutes left. Goff would get the ball back and start leading the team down the field, although it wasn't easy. Goff had a great game, 81% completion rate on 33 pass attempts. The Vikings defense were still making some big plays, with Byron Murphy blowing up J-Mo on 1st and 10 for a 5-yard loss. Though it wasn't enough with Laporta and St. Brown to answer with huge receptions of their own. Goff would lead the Lions down the field into the red zone, and on 4th and 1, Goff would drop back and find Gibbs in space for the touchdown to make it a 17-9 game. It was the exact same play against the Packers, week 14, 4th down in the red zone, Gibbs in space, no linebacker can guard this man. The Vikings would continue with their run game, but struggle for success for the rest of the game. Naylor picked up 27 to get the Vikings in field goal range, and after a 3rd down pass breakup by Alex Anzalone on TJ Hawkinson, Will Reichard would miss the 51-yard field goal. Detroit's offense would easily get over midfield, moving the ball down the field, and on 1st and 10, Van Dinkel would drop an easy interception from Goff. It was in his hands. Would it have been a pick 6? Maybe. Would the Vikings have won if they made this play? Maybe. But just nothing was going the Vikings' way. Goff would shake it off and find St. Brown for the 9-yard pickup, J-Mo for the 1st down on 3rd and 1, and Gibbs would punch it into the end zone on a 13-yard touchdown run for his 3rd of the day. On Minnesota's 9th possession of the game, Detroit's defense would continue stopping the run and blowing up their screens, and Minnesota would be forced to punt once again after a Muhammad sack on 3rd and 9. Gibbs would kick off Detroit's 10th drive with a 47-yard run stopped by Byron Murphy. Detroit would work their way into the red zone, and on 4th and 2, with 2 seconds left in the play clock from the 7-yard line, Goff would go under center and pull the Vikings offside, leading Gibbs to be pushed into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the game. And that put the Vikings away. On their next possession, they turned the ball over on downs for the 3rd time last night. All game, Sam Darnold looked lost, couldn't find his open wide receivers, was under fire from the Lions pass rush without Aiden Hutchinson. Amik Robertson locked up Justin Jefferson, only 3 receptions for just over 50 yards on the night. No touchdowns allowed by this Lions defense, and it was huge to have Alex Anzalone back, just huge. That Army's playing with, it probably hurts like a bitch every single hit that he takes or gives. Phenomenal in the run defense. He's the captain of our defense. One of the biggest things is he's great in coverage. The Lions desperately were needing that linebacker to come back to help out in the secondary. Detroit this season becomes the 9th team ever to have 15 or more wins. It's the first time they ever clinched the 1 seed for the playoffs. They get the bye they desperately need. They get home field advantage. Now, people were worried about their defense. They look so strong against one of the best offenses in the league. But if the Lions defense had to go on the road in the playoffs, it could have been a little worrisome. I definitely would have been scared. I had faith in them. But this getting home field advantage is just amazing. Ford Field is such a hard place to play, and it's so loud that Minnesota tried to get their fans in, which they didn't really do a very good job of, as some Lions fans were able to purchase tickets when it was only supposed to be for Minnesota Vikings season ticket holders. It was funny that Sam Darnold had to take the last knee of the game to send his team home as the first 14-win wild card team. At the end of the game, Dan Campbell told Kevin O'Connell, "I'll see you in 2 weeks." I would be surprised if the Vikings got through easily by the Rams. That is the playoff game I'm most excited for. It is going to be a fight. But if the Lions had to go on the road to, especially if they had to play Philadelphia in the first round, that would have been nasty. Or even in the second round, just having home field advantage. Hopefully for the NFC Championship game, Lions to the Super Bowl. What a phenomenal year. 15-2 is just absurd. I still can't believe it. The Lions are this amazing. It's so exciting. Only 2 losses, the Bills and then the Bucks. Week 2, so many players had phenomenal seasons. J-Mo had 1,001 yards and 7 touchdowns this regular season. Gibbs had 16 rushing touchdowns, 4 receiving touchdowns, so 20 on the year, over 1,600 rushing yards, and over 1,900 scrimmage yards. Goff had 4,600 passing yards and 37 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Kirby Joseph had 9 picks. Branch had a phenomenal season. So many players, so much to look forward to. This Lions team is going to win the Super Bowl. Got 2 weeks off. Going to be a really fun playoffs, a stress-free wildcard round playoff weekend to watch. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Go Lions. Fuck the Packers. And I do think Minnesota could be a first-round playoff exit. Last time they had a high playoff seed, they went 13-4. They lost to the Giants at home. Can they beat the Rams? I have a lot of playoff and Lions breakdowns coming. Thanks for watching.